security had to come find me and pull me out of a hot tub. Again, living my best life, not bothering anybody. You need to come with us. Hey, and welcome back to a very long-awaited episode 9. I feel like I haven't seen you since, well, this weekend.
I was going to say this weekend.
I mean, it's not you, but you. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a really long time. Because it has been. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, and you, Scott. It's been 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. We were like super busy. We had a lot going on. Mm-hmm. Had a trip planned. We went on a cruise. Yeah. I saw Jesus. Mm-hmm. Not on the cruise.
I saw an alien on the cruise. You saw
an alien on the cruise. You know, I got picked up by ship security. That was fun.
That's what happens when you don't scan your badge.
Well, I did scan it. I did. It went beep boop, and they were like, "You're good." I was like, "Sweet."
We were like, "Bye, Erin. I hope you like Coco K."
Bye. Well, that's the thing. They didn't even find me until after the ship was moving. So I'm just like,
they didn't?
No.
Oh,
I couldn't hear them calling like over the intercoms and stuff because we got back on the ship and we went on the water slide. So we're outside on, you know, in line for the water slide and everything. And then we did that. And then we went to the solarium for like the adult hot tub because I was like, I don't want to be in a hot tub where kids have been peeing in it all day. I'd much prefer the drunk adult pee. Like, it's sterilized more or something. I don't know.
We were watching a couple argue because we were like up on that top deck and you can look down into those. And they were just like, and we're like, oh man, welcome to your cruise, day one.
I wonder what he did.
There was like another couple like a foot from them and they were just
watching,
like.
Kind of like. Apparently, so Jordan, the photographer, she was saying that like, what was it? I think it was formal night. They went down to the schooner bar and there was this couple like screaming at each other in Russian. And like she was watching them in the mirror because her sister could see over her shoulder. And she was like, quit moving. I got to be able to see their faces. But they were like freaking, like they were arguing and fighting with each other in Russian. And I was like, man. And she was like, I really wanted to turn on like an app, like a Google Translate or something, just so I could figure out what they were saying. But I didn't think it would pick it up. It was really loud. Yeah. I was like, that's hilarious. But so in case y'all didn't notice, we went on a cruise to the...
My alabaster skin got burnt.
You did?
A little bit. Oh, it's not too bad.
Somebody didn't sunscreen it up. Huh?
SPF 80. A few times.
I'm pretty sure that's a lie. Like the SPFs. Like if it's over 30, I'm just kind of like, meh. Yeah. It's like fine.
I got a little burnt. It's not as bad because like I did apply a few times, but
I literally sprayed myself once and then was like, it's fine. And so I had like, I didn't get burnt, but I did have these really weird like commas, you know. It was like, oh, here's a semicolon right here on your, you know, because it was like, I don't know, I missed my like the back of my arm or whatever, so I'd have this like crazy, you know, and people would be like,
what's that?
And then people would be like, your chest is getting really red. And I'm like, I know, I'm just drunk and really hot right now, so it's red. It's what happens. It's fine. I'm exerting myself in this pool.
That's right.
And they're like, no, you're like getting sunburned. I'm like, no, I know my limits. It's fine.
Yeah. When we were in Nassau, we went to Atlantis.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The slides.
I was about to say, did y'all just do like all the water slides and everything?
Yeah. And one of our friends was like, I don't want to do it. And I was like, oh, you're getting on this water slide.
Doing it.
And we got to the top because I was like, you got to go to the top one first and then you work your way down because then you're already good.
Right.
Like
you
the rest of them
hiking up even further.
The rest of them easy.
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't want to go first. So I was like, I'll go first. And so we went individual tubes. We could have doubled up, but it was hard to get it.
So much more fun individually.
So individually, and then it was just like they saw me and I like gripped on and I leaned back and they were like, oh, fuck. Like, how steep is that? And then like I didn't make any noise going down because I knew it was coming.
Right.
But as I got to the bottom, I could hear them. So I get there and I'm just like giggling.
I love it. Yeah, we went. We didn't do Atlantis. We did the rum and reggae tour, which I've done before in Nassau and was really fun. But we had originally it was supposed to be 17 people. I think we ended up having 12. And one of our people bailed kind of at the last minute. Bless her heart.
Why?
She had gotten really seasick the night before. I think some of it, there was alcohol involved with that. But you know how, like, when you start to get seasick, it's just like you're screwed until it's done. Like, that's all there is to it, So she woke up, I think, at like 3 a.m. and was just hurling for the whole night. And then, I mean, I'm impressed. She troopered her way off of that ship and walked through all of that humanity and then down and, like, and it was hot. I mean, like, it was a good 25-minute walk in the heat and everything. And she's just, I've got this. I'm going to be fine. And I'm like, you look like a corpse. Like, I love you, but you look dead. And, I mean, she gets to a little square where we're going to meet the tour guide people. And she's, like, laid out on a bench and everything. And then she goes and she pukes in some bushes. And we're like, yeah, she's going to rally, No. The tour person got there. And we're like, she needs to go back to the boat. And they're like, yeah, bye. Like, we're like, can we just drop her? Like, can she get on the bus and we just drop her? And they're like, yeah, we're not going that way. And I'm like, it's right there, And they're like, yeah, we're not going that way. So I was like, all right, well, I mean, I don't want her to walk by herself. So I was about to be like, all right, I'll walk back with you and I've done it before. So it's whatever, I'll go hang out by the pool. But then the tour operator, like, flagged down a bus, like some random bus, and, like, talked to them for a minute, puts her on this bus, and immediately the doors close and one of the people in our group goes, she's going to be sex trafficked. And we're just like, dude! Like, what? So she was fine. She's fine. Like, she's home. Like, all the things. She made it back. She's okay. But they actually only took her, like, a block up the road, then booted her out of the bus. They took her to the straw market, and then they're like, get out. And she's like,
you drunk heathen. She's like, I'm not drunk, I
she's like, no, I'm not. I'm just... So she got back to the ship and everything. She was fine, and we went and drank rum and listened to reggae and drove all over the island.
It's great people watching.
House.
Yeah,
it was really cool. Yeah. It's not the one that they live in currently. It's on the market for $9.7 million. If anybody's interested, and it's under renovations. So we got to, like, peek over the walls and be all, like, creepy. Like,
Did you get to drive past the U.S. Embassy that's being built?
Yes.
Holy shit!
I know. I was like, damn, NASA. Here's the thing. When we did rum and reggae the first time, we didn't go through, like, the nice part of Nassau. I had no idea there was a nice part of this island. I thought it was all just...
You have to go to the bridge.
Awful. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was all just, like, what's at the port, And I was just like, Nassau, great. Don't want to go there. And then we're, like, going to this whole other part of the island and everything. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is nice. You know, like, we were over by what is it, Baja Mar property and Sandals and all that. Like, we were way over there, and it was just like, oh, damn, this is, like, cushy. I didn't know this existed. Like, I thought it was like, Haiti after an earthquake or a, tsunami or something.
Yeah. Our travel guide, or, the tour bus driver from the ship to Atlantis was like, all right, we're going to go up and over this. They call them docks. It's not a bridge, it's a dock. And we were like, oh, excuse us.
Right. Like,
and he was like, this is the nice part of Nassau, which is technically not
Nassau.
Not Nassau. It's Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Okay, it is Treasure Island. Yeah. And so you have to pay to get on it. And so he was like, if you want to go see friends on here, it's expensive because you got to pay to get on it.
That's right. It's like,
make it worth it.
I got some very expensive daiquiris on Treasure Island. But it was really cool because it was just this little, like, side hut. And he had it was like a health nut's dream because it was just like all this fresh fruit. Yeah. And you go in and you got to pick up to three fruits and everything. And he is, like, cutting them all up and he's dancing and he's got all the people around. It's like, hey. His name was Marco, but everybody calls him Polo. I know, it's funny. But, and then of course, Melanie, our travel agent was with us. She's a good friend. And she knows people there because she goes all the time. And so she, runs into friends and is like, oh, this is, you know. So it was a lot of fun. And we all got back to the boat a little less sober than we started out. So success, Yeah. And then we, hopped in the pool, and we were almost very late for dinner. Hauling butt through the thing.
5:15, we're still swimming.
No!
Dinner's at 5:30.
It's fine.
Swim to dinner.
It's fine, you know.
That was the formal night too, wasn't it?
Yes, it
That
was.
night, yeah.
Yes, it was. Yep. Cindy and I are still in the pool, and we're like, it's fine. We've got time. And then we look, and we're like, oh, fuck, it's 5:20.
We do not have time.
5:30. And so we're like running through the ship and throwing on clothes and everything. Hair in a bun, hair in a bun. It's not fine. It's not clean. It doesn't matter. You know, it's fine.
It's fine.
And then we're running back through the boat in like, you know, wedges and heels and dresses and all. It was great.
I felt like a giant because usually I'm in either like tennis
like
shoes
sneakers,
or like slip-on Vans, and I had my cute little wedges on. And I was like, man, this must be what it feels like to be Melanie, being so tall. Like,
I'm like, this is what it feels like to wear real clothes.
that's right. Yeah,
Look at
not
that.
scrubs and
Not scrubs
workout
and leggings.
clothes.
Woohoo, you know.
Exactly what I came back.
So, did you get a massage on the boat?
Of course not. Of course not. The friends that I went with, they're like, we're so lucky to have brought our massage therapist. And I was
You're
like,
wait, I'm off.
I was like, whoa. I was like, I'm so lucky to have brought my chiropractor.
Right? Like, my back? Like, I don't, like, this. I know. I was like, I've got my glass lady, my travel agent, one of my massage therapists. Like, so we went, it was a big networking group thing. And so we had all the women, well, not all the women, but a huge number of women from our networking groups that went on this trip together. So there were 34 of us, I think, which if you think that sounds insane, you'd be right on a lot of different levels. But surprisingly, there wasn't really a lot of drama, you know. But I definitely had so many people who were like, so are you going to get a massage? And I'm like, no. On a ship, no. That is the quickest way to fuck up your vacation, is to go and be like, oh, give me a massage. People who work on a boat in like slave conditions, basically.
Yeah.
So a really good friend of mine actually used to work on a cruise ship. She was telling me about it one day because I was like, oh, yeah, you know, I always thought when I was younger, before I had a kid and all that, like, what a cool thing to do.
Right.
Like,
you get to travel.
You get to travel, you can do all the things, and you're making money at the same time. Like, cha-ching. Not at all. Not at all. They work like 12, 14-hour days. They sleep in a cubby hole. You know, like they don't get to like go anywhere else on the ship. Like even when they're off, like they can't go and do things. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
They get like one night off a month. It's terrible. And I mean, if I'm a massage therapist doing that, like I'm not a happy person. So it does not surprise me at all, the horror stories that I've heard from people who have gotten massages on cruise ships, you know. And okay, there are like some very good massage therapists on cruise ships, but the majority of them, no.
Yeah.
And they have, so they're all also very, there aren't a lot of Americans that do it. They're all very European. And so they're all very, we'll just say like a little more of an invasive species. They don't have the same, the word I'm looking for. They don't have the same kind of ideas, I guess, that we do about like modesty and things like that. You know, like they're very free, you know, people, which is great. You know, I'm also a very free person, but not like with strangers, you know. But it's one of those things where like the idea that like the human body is somewhat shameful and needs to be covered at all times and everything. That is not the way they play this game.
Yeah.
And they will like climb up on the table and they'll do all kinds of stuff. And, you know, I've got people who are like, oh my God, random lady on the boat. We're talking, it was Saturday morning. I woke up at a ridiculous hour and watched the sunrise because I don't know, apparently I have, you know, psycho tendencies. I don't know. It was not intentional.
Not just on a cruise.
Right. It wasn't intentional. I've never woken up to see the sunrise on land, okay? Like, I don't know what it was about the boat. I went to bed at 1 a.m. and I woke up at 5:30 and was like, what the fuck is going on here? And we were in the same time zone, so it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But so I'm like up there on the, you know, promenade, or well, no, it was the track deck. It's not the Lido, but it's above the Lido. Anyway, so I'm up there and I'm taking pictures of the, you know, sunset and everything. And this lady's next to me and she's, oh, where are you from? And so we start up a conversation and she's like, well, what do you do? I was like, oh, I'm a massage therapist. And she's like, I got a massage on the boat yesterday. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Because just the way her face looked, like, I knew this was about to turn into a shit show. And I'm like, oh, no. And she's like, so do you separate butt cheeks when you massage people? And I'm like, only if I want pink eye. And she was just like, what? And I was like, no, I don't do that. Like, that's not. And she's like, yeah, they were like holding one open and like massaging all like in the crack and stuff. And I was like, oh, did you get waxed? Like, did you, and she's just like, it was like the weirdest thing ever, and she's like, I was so uncomfortable. I was like, well, I mean, you can tell them that makes you uncomfortable and everything. She's like, I was scared. She didn't really speak English. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's
like, please stop.
And they're like, no, I fix you good. It's like, oh no. She's like, and then when they when I was on my back, like they were just getting really close to all the good stuff. And she's like, and she like really got vigorous with my boobs and all. And I was like, oh yeah. I mean, that's, they're trained. If they're trained in Europe, that's, very teeny tiny little towel to cover you. I mean, they're definitely different than here. Yeah. And I've heard so many horror stories. I'm just kind of like, no. Yeah. I'll get my nails done on a ship, but that's about it. Like, I don't want you cutting my hair while this thing's moving. Like, I don't want a facial. No.
I had one, like, on one of the first cruises I ever took. Because I was like, like, let's see how it feels. And I was just like, it hurt so bad because it was like the bamboo massage.
Yes, that's what she did. It's like they were doing that, and then they switched to hands.
Well, then it was like, there were parts where I was like, okay, like that, it's very heavy-handed, like it feels nice, but then it was like on my spine, and I was just like, oh.
That's not great.
I was like, that kind of hurts. And she's like, more? And I was like, no more. And so in my head, I was like, okay,
what's my safe word?
never again will I ever get a massage on a cruise ship.
Yeah, no.
Just because, like.
I've not heard a whole lot of great things there,
And I remember too, like the table was set up like this, and there's a big window, and it's wide open, and there's another ship like docked.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, I'll go in before we go out, and I get sunburned all hell, because that's just what happens. And sure enough, I'm like, I wonder if these people can see me as she's stretching my leg wide.
I wonder if people now know what I look like to the deepest core of myself. Like, that's just great.
But
everything was waving. It's
that's
like,
right.
Speaking of really awkward leg positions.
Can't wait.
So before the cruise, I bought a new bathing suit. And, I haven't been in a bathing suit since like last summer. And so, I ordered it online. It got here. I was like, oh, yeah, and I tried it on and it fit great. Except it was cut just a little narrower in the front than I am used to. Yeah. And so, I was talking to my esthetician and she's like, oh, well, just get a wax. And I was like, yeah, I've never done that before. Tons of my clients do this. I talk to my clients. They talk to me about everything. So, ton of them do it. You and I have had this conversation before. Yeah. Apparently Dominique's like an old soul at waxing. She does it to herself. And so I'm like, it can't be that bad, right? Like all these funny internet stories that you read where like people like try and pull it off and they end up on the floor or whatever, And I'm like, well, it can't be that bad. Yeah. Like if you could do it yourself, obviously these people are just weenies, right? Like they are obviously just weak human beings who just can't handle it. I gave birth to a person. Like I feel like I can handle this. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, let's do that. That sounds like a great idea. I'm 41 years old. I've never been never, ever had anything on my body waxed. Ever. And
probably should have started easy with like pits or something.
Maybe a Brazilian wasn't the best place to start.
The first go, Brazilian. Wax it all, please.
You mean paving paradise and putting up a parking lot? Wasn't it a good idea? Because
I tried to help. I tried to give you pointers, like make sure your hair's not too long.
Oh God, this one. She's like, okay, so just make sure it's not, the hair's not too long because it's gonna hurt more.
Yeah.
And
the longer the hair is, the more it hurts.
Too long. Like I don't know. So I'm talking to my esthetician. And I'm just like, so, she's like a rice grain. And I'm like, it's definitely more than a rice grain. So I'm like, do you have any scissors because I thought that I had handled this, but apparently not. So I'm like, you have any scissors? So I'm in her office bathroom, the door like triple locked, and a pair of like office scissors. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I do a hatchet job real quick. And I come out and I'm just like,
you need
all
a
right.
comb to...
I know, I really did. I needed to do this like well, but I definitely did not. So I come out and I'm like, let me sterilize these before I put them back on your desk. So I come out and I'm like, okay. And she's like, are you ready? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And she's asking it in a way that makes me feel like maybe some bad things are about to happen. Cause she's just like, are you ready? And I'm just like, sure. So I get on the table, like she hands me the little like, you know, wrappy thing and I get all like, you know, vulnerable. And I get on the table and she comes in, my legs are straight and shut. And she comes in and she's like, I'm going to need you to, you know, and she asked me to put my legs like this.
Like butterfly.
No, she said frog.
Okay, frog.
And so I was like, all right, frog. Right, great. She goes, now here's the important part. I was like, crap. She's like, you cannot close them. Yeah. Like a lot of people have apparently the reflex to close them. She's like, everything will stick together and then I'll have to peel it apart. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I feel like this is a bad idea because I know my life and I know exactly what's going to happen. I am going to get stuck together, fall off the table and end up with some sort of like crippling back injury or something. I'm going to lose a labia. I don't know. Something horrible is about to happen, you know. So I'm just like, oh, Jesus. She's like, just keep your hands, you know, on your hips and everything just to kind of remind you. So I'm sitting here and I've had a kid, so I'm not shy by any means.
Right.
Like, I'm that person who goes to the gynecologist and I slide down the table going, wee, you know, just to make her laugh because it's fun. So I'm not shy, but at the same time, I feel so like...
But it's also different, too, when it's like someone that you know before going in a little bit,
asked her, too. I was like, is this going to be awkward?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I mean, like, you know, you've seen me in super awkward situations because I'm her massage therapist. Yeah. And I'm like, true, you know. All right, cool. I was like, all right, if you're good with it, I'm good with it. Yeah. So...
It's like that little extra layer.
Right. I'm like, this is a super, like, trusting situation. Like, I am trusting you not to rip off my little man in the boat. Like, he's important. Make sure he's safe. Put on his life jacket, you know. So she's like, all right, we're going to start with the most painful part first. And I was like, that sounds reasonable. Like, we get that over with, and then it's smooth sailing from there. And she did, I do need to emphasize, she used numbing cream. So she used numbing cream. That was supposed to make it better.
It did not make it better.
It did not make it better. I don't want to know what it would have been like without that because it was bad enough with it. But so she's like, we're going to do the worst part first. Well, the worst part is what I will now refer to forever as the range hood. So right at the very top of your pubic bone. So... I'm like, how is this the worst part? Because I'm thinking for sure the sides are going to be the worst part because your pubis area is like tighter skin and everything. Y'all. She ripped this wax off of me. And I swear to God, I saw Jesus. I had a conversation with him about all the bad things I've ever done in my life. And he said, no, child, it's not your time, and sent me back for more. And I screamed so loud. Oh, my God. So the receptionist.
So you can never go back there.
Oh, my God. I came out after the fact, and the lady at the front desk was like, I feel bad for you. And I'm like, oh, my God, you know. So, yeah. So that was awful. And then she's like, but that was the worst part. The worst part is over. She is such a fucking liar. Such a liar. I think she has to do that so that people will not get up and walk out with like a freaking mullet. Because I was like about to. I was done. I was like, I'm not going to survive this. And she's like, no, you'll be fine. And I'm like, no. She does one side. I'm in tears. I'm just like, oh my God. Screaming. It's ridiculous. I mean, you know how ridiculous I am anyway. on like a good day
You
without
just need
pain.
like the leather strap to like bite down on.
I needed
apparently
something like a ball gag, something like just like stress balls. Eric, I don't know, like just something like. So she's finally like, okay, I've got most everything.
Yeah.
Like, most? You ripped my soul out of my body. She snatched me bald, like literally, done. And I'm like, most? There's more? Wait. And she's like, well, I gotta go in with these tweezers. Don't sneeze. They're really sharp. It goes in. And I'm just like,
don't move.
how about you don't sneeze, you crazy bitch? Like, what the fuck? And then she's just like, tra-la-la-la-la, plucking away. And then she gets a little ball of wax and like kind of just gets all the extra wax pieces that are left. And when she aloes it up and she's like, it's angry, but do you want to see it? And I'm like,
no, thank you. Mirror straight to the crotch.
right. And I'm like, I don't think I want to see it. I don't think I want to see her when she's angry. I feel like that's not a great look. And she's like, come on, just for, and I was like, fine, whatever. Holy shit, and I was like, yep, I shouldn't have looked. Gonna have nightmares now. Shouldn't have looked. She was angry. She was red and swollen and just like, there were some little areas that were bruising and everything. And she's like, that'll go away, no big deal. And I'm like, you broke her.
I leave for a cruise in 2 days.
You broke her.
Yeah.
Like, what? My kid didn't even wreck this much destruction. Like, come on.
I had a friend, she's like, I don't want to look like a plucked chicken. I'll just shave. And I was just like, ooh. I get like ingrown hairs so easily, like, or like razor burn.
Then she
when
starts
shaving.
talking about that. She's like, because she's like, okay, so ingrown hairs can happen. They're really normal. And I'm like, wait, what ingrown? You just took it all away. I should be bald for a year. And she's like, yeah, no, this is only going to last for like 4 weeks. I was like, what the fuck?
It might be longer because it's your first time. So it's just like ripping everything out.
That's what he said too.
Yeah.
He lied to you.
Yeah.
That was wrong. I shouldn't have said that out loud. But yeah, so it was traumatic to say the least. And now I kind of want to give you like a teddy bear and a trophy for doing this to yourself on like a regular basis because you're Superwoman as far as I'm concerned. That was.
The more you do it, the easier it gets.
That's what people tell me, and I'm like, why would anybody ever do this again?
Well, because now you know,
Why?
like you know what to expect, and hopefully it doesn't hurt as bad the next go around.
Because everything will be really short.
But if you
and, like,
stick
equally grown,
but you
out.
have to stick with it. Like you can't like, oh, I'll go 8 weeks this time because then your hair is gonna get really long again, and then you're gonna be.
Well, I'll know how to trim it this time. No, I can't go 4 weeks. I'll be post-op. Trust me, I cannot do those kind of abdominal like situations.
Well, then I guess you're gonna have a really rough
'Cause
second go around too.
That was what? That was last Tuesday. It was a week ago today.
Yeah.
Where I had my out of body experience, near death, all the things. I'm so dramatic. But yeah, so
What? You?
me? No. But yeah, so near death experience last Tuesday. Today, I'm like healing from the trauma.
just now starting to heal.
Next Tuesday is actually surgery to remove all the shit that caused this problem to begin with.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then I'll be 2 weeks. So 4 weeks in will be 2 weeks after surgery. So that's not happening.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. So I'm just never gonna do it again. Pretty much. Funniest thing ever. So Addison was saying something today, and I don't even remember what she said, but it was something, and I was like, well, thank God you don't have to get waxed or whatever. And she's like, waxed? I was like, yeah, I got waxed last week. And she's like, what did you get waxed? Okay, my kid's 11, right? So I'm just like, how much of this do I want to tell her? So I was like, I mean, the lady garden had some training, trimming, landscaping, whatever you want to call it. And she's like, why would you wax that? And I was like, okay, so I got this bathing suit, so tell her the whole thing, and she's just like, I don't understand why anybody would do that. And I was like, one day, honey, you're going to get it, but don't do it. Just, it's not worth it. And she sits there for a second and she goes, did you wax your butt? And I was just like, there might have been some weeds at the back of the garden that needed to be taken care of. I thought she was going to fall out of the car. She dad laughing. And she's like, I don't even know why I asked. And I was like, I don't know why either, honey. I really don't.
I just imagine her like going to school and be like, my mom got her butt waxed.
Yeah, I don't doubt that that's not going to happen. I mean, it is what it is. But when you live with me, these things, they just tend to part and parcel.
No fucks given.
No fucks given. There's no taboo topic with mom, you know. She's learning that, and she's learning to choose what she asks about very carefully.
But it's good, though, because now she knows she can always come to you and talk to you about
butthole waxing. That's
I mean, I was gonna say everything, but yeah, I guess that too.
Well, the super awkward conversation is like, why on earth would anybody ever want to see that? And I'm like,
one day you'll understand why.
So when people have sexual intercourse, some of them are really filthy. And she's just like, I don't even want to hear where this is going. And I was like,
thank God.
That's a good thing, because I wasn't sure where I was taking it. Like, I'm not sure.
I just imagine like Eric opening the door and he's just like, nope. Gets in the car and drives off.
No.
Not today, Satan, not today.
Or today, Satan. It depends on my mood. You know, it really does. You know, it depends. Some days I wake up and I choose violence. Obviously. Yeah. Last Tuesday, I chose violence.
It's not that bad.
You're
horrific. Scaring all these people out here.
Good. Don't do it. I hope I scared you. I hope I scared you so bad that like everything just closed up shop and retreated, because no, absolutely not. It's a bad idea. Don't do it.
I got nothing. I can't.
It's a terrible idea. So, but massages on boats are bad ideas. Waxing on a boat would be even worse, you know.
I agree with that.
But on land, still pretty awful idea in my book.
Disagree. Agree to disagree.
We'll agree to disagree. What about dudes? If it hurt me that bad, I can imagine a guy getting his balls waxed would have been probably the most horrific thing that... Like, what guy ever was like, you know what?
I got an idea.
I have an idea. Or was it some crazy woman who's like, hey, you know what would be fun?
Well, he's probably going in the bathroom too, like you were with scissors, like, let me trim this up a little bit.
I have to have one more hair. We're going to fix this right now, you know?
Yeah, I imagine that'd probably feel really...
I feel like that would be way worse.
Yeah, but men are little babies kind of too.
Pulled flat.
Yeah, just like on the cruise ship.
Yeah. We're just going to pull it all flat. There you go. I like it. There you go. I like it.
We need help.
I'm going to need an extra set of hands. This one's really...
There's like 8 people in the room, like already.
Scott's about to fall out of his chair.
Holding his legs.
He had no idea what he was getting into.
Scott, little did you know, I brought my wax pot.
You can tell that I use the Manscaped lawnmower. I love it.
Manscaped lawnmower. That's, yep. So crazy.
It's good.
So we didn't change at all off of our vacation.
No.
I think if anything, we just came back more relaxed and willing to talk about all the things.
Yeah. A little more crispy.
A little crispier.
I was telling my friends, I was like, I'll just be the apparition on the beach following you guys around.
Just the glimmer.
It's like I'm in a dark room 90% of the time.
That is true. I got to hold pigs. I got to swim with pigs.
Yeah.
And I got to hold a baby. And one of the girls we were with got peed on by one while she was holding it. And it was on her birthday. And I was like, look, you got a prize. Like, that's like many blessings in some culture, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a good thing.
The guy was just like, don't touch their faces because you can lose a finger.
He's like standing there and he's got like 3 fingers missing. And he's like, don't touch around their mouths because this happens.
Yeah. Part of me, because he was like, you know, these pigs have never had meat. And I wanted to be like, well, they had your finger, so that's meat. Right? I think you're lying to us. I think he lost it. Yeah.
You know.
He was like, these pigs would be cracked out of their minds if they had meat. And I was just like...
Somebody was giving them hot dogs.
I think it was all apples.
No, I swear to God, somebody was giving them hot dogs.
No, because he said that they had never had... None of the pigs had ever had meat before. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But how do you prevent them from eating meat? They're eating everything. Mm-hmm. So...
I asked him about...
Do they go into like a pen?
I think so. Because I was like, how far out do they swim? Like, I mean, do they... And he's like... to about right here where the food is. And I'm like, oh, so they don't... I was like, what if they were free-range pigs? Like, if they were, like, wild island pigs, do they just kind of... And he's like, well, yeah, then they'd kind of go But the farthest they would swim would only be to the next island. And I was like, well, I didn't think they were just like, hey-hoing it out into the middle of the ocean. Like, what? I just kind of looked at it and was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Shark food.
Shark bait.
Bacon.
No, it was funny because I looked at Cindy because all the little pigs were out on the beach
They
when
were
we
so
came
cute.
up, and they were so cute. And I was like, bacon in the sun.
They were all just like laying. They were
really
just like, all right,
Like,
oh,
they were just like,
the people
"What's
are
up?"
here.
Oh,
Let's
people, applesauce.
I think you and I took a picture with the same little pig named Willie.
Yes,
no,
Willie was the one. The one that was on my back.
Yeah, he was
the best.
so aggressive.
He really was.
He was just like, what?
Like everybody else has these nice little pictures where they're just like, and there's a pig, like, you know, right here, and he got on, and he was like, bam, bitch,
Like,
and I'm like,
hand
like,
on the head, and I was just like,
I mean, my pictures are not, well, one of them's good because I'm laughing, but
Yeah.
all the other ones are just like me, like, you know, because I'm trying to protect my eyes from the flying hooves of this little hooves of fury.
My friend Lauren was like, I don't want that. And I was like, too bad. And the pig like jumps up. And
I don't want that.
I just hear,
yeah, she was like, oh no.
like, I don't like this.
Yeah,
But
no.
that went really quick. And then we like went
did.
back, and then it was just like chilling at the beach all day.
I was in the pool that had the DJ and the swim up bar, living my best life.
Yeah.
And the next day I couldn't hardly walk. And I was like, how? I was buoyant. Like, I figured jumping and dancing in the pool was like, you know, I got a lot of cardio that day.
Yeah.
But my legs were
my
like,
watch was just like, great job. You've been swimming for
You've
10
been
minutes. And I was
swimming
literally just
forever.
like chest deep, just like, I was like, okay, watch, you're crazy, but that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then at one point I was up there and one of the girls is like, we should do a shot. And I'm like, I feel like that's not going to go
Not
well.
a great idea.
So she asked the bartender, she's like, can we get a shot of Patron? And he's like, no. And we're like, oh. And he's like, we don't do shots. It has to have ice in it. And she's like, okay. And I was like, no, bad idea. So he gives us these cups with like this much Patron in it. And then like a little bit of ice. I was like, oh, this isn't going to go well. Who knows? So, you know, I'm like sipping on it. And she's over there like, ah. And I'm like, oh, crap. All right. And then I poured the rest of mine into Melanie's cup. She drinks tequila. She's like, did you just pour a whole bunch of tequila in here? I was like,
Nope.
maybe.
You saw
Or
nothing.
was it rupees? I don't know.
You'll find out later.
You'll find out
That's
soon.
why you didn't get back on the ship properly.
No, that was me, apparently. Yeah. So security had to come find me and pull me out of a hot tub. Again, living my best life, not bothering anybody. You need to come with us. Oh, shit. Why? Like, come. Okay. So they're like, do you have your SIP card? I'm like, yeah. So grab it. They walk me all the way to the elevators. We go all the way to the bowels of the ship to security. I'm in a bathing suit. Like, I didn't even have time to grab a towel. So I'm like sitting there and my thighs are just like the whole way down. It sucked, you know.
I got some chub rub too.
Yeah, I've got like some chub rub happening. There's like thigh burn. I'm like, oh, this is going to chafe. This isn't good.
Yeah.
So, you know, there wasn't any like garden foliage to help keep this stuff from catching on fire, apparently. So I get down there and they're just like, how'd you get back on the ship? And I'm like, with all the other fucking people. Like, what do you mean how'd I get back on? So apparently what had happened was like when I scanned my card to get back on the ship, Melanie, the travel agent who went before me, she went, he, you know, saw her face, looked at her, said, Melanie. She said, yeah. And then he scans mine. It goes beep, just like hers did. And he looks and he goes, Melanie? And I'm like, nope, Erin. And he goes, oh, okay. And I was like, I'm good? And he's like, yeah. And I went. It never changed over. So, like, there was some sort of glitch and it didn't count.
But wasn't it you and somebody else?
They were calling Cindy because she was my roommate.
Oh.
So they were like, hey, if we find one, we found the other. And
Right.
they knew she was on the ship because she had used her card to get drinks. So they knew she was on the ship. But yeah, so, and like the whole way down, he's like, do you know who scanned you in? And I was like, I don't mean to sound racist, but y'all all look the same. And I've been on an island drinking for the last like 7 hours. Like, I don't even know what my mom looks like at this point. Like, yeah, I don't know what he looked like. It was a dude.
Yeah.
I do know that. He had dark hair.
You're like, it was a gentleman.
Yeah. I was like,
That's
yeah,
it.
I don't even know what, like, no, I don't know what he looked like. And he goes, was it me? And I'm like, no, you look way meaner than he did. Like, wait, no, it wasn't. No.
Yeah.
And he kind of laughed. So I was like, all right, good. I didn't offend the nice man who's taking me to the brig, apparently. So
That's where they keep the bodies.
Yeah, so they scanned everything, and then they were just like, okay, we're really sorry to have disturbed you. And I was like, you mean scared the actual shit out of me?
Yeah.
So I thought, at one point, I thought something
Yeah,
was,
they're going to have to clean up on aisle 1.
right? There's going to be a cleanup in the aft elevator. But I honestly, for a minute, I thought something was wrong with like Addie or Eric or something. Like they're pulling me down to tell me like something horrible's happened. And I'm like, what's going on? And they won't tell me. And they're all very stern and very like, serious. Like they mean business. So I'm pretty sure somebody got the shit kicked out of them for that one because they are not supposed to like allow that to happen. And I felt bad. Like I didn't want anybody to get in trouble. Like I didn't know anything went wrong, you know. But so they like the whole way back up, they're like, we're so sorry. We didn't mean to inconvenience you. I was like, oh, now you're going to be nice. I see how it is, you know.
Intruder, alien.
Right.
You're the alien.
Apparently, yes, I was. You met an alien on the boat,
I
didn't you?
He was a bit of a weirdo, but I think that just kind of goes with the job that he was doing at the escape room.
I could see that.
He was a character for sure.
Well, yeah.
We were talking, I was asking people, I was like, you come on this ship and you're like, all right, my job is to do this. I'm a server. Cool. And then it's like, all right, cool. You got any other talents? You going to sing on the bridge? You going to go dance in your feather costume?
Dancer? Yeah.
And I was like, if you had to pick a secondary gig that you weren't expecting to do, like what would it be? And I was like, oh, I'd definitely be escape room person. I was like, because I can be a weirdo.
Oh, no. See, I'd want to be the one kicking people down the water slide.
See, and I feel like, yeah.
I'd be really good.
I asked
Are
Melanie.
you scared, little kid? It's all right. You won't drown. Go.
I asked Melanie. She's like, I just want to be the person who wipes the handrails. I was like,
I don't want that job.
I was like, that sounds kind of boring. No. But I mean, I guess if you're looking for ease, you just walk up and down the stairs.
No, if you want an easy job, you're the person that sits in the booth and hands out towels. That's the easy job.
Yeah.
That's
but I feel like that would probably be the primary.
Anything. You don't have to like, you know, deal with people much.
Yeah.
Towels here, you know, how many you need.
We smuggled some Fireball onto the ship via wine bottle. Yeah. And then we remembered that we forgot to bring the wine bottle opener. And so.
Oh, you did not.
We were like, oh, well, it's fine. Like, we'll just get it while we're like on the way down at Buc-ee's. And then we got to Buc-ee's and we were like, Buc-ee's! Everything except for what we needed.
Right.
So then we
you get sensory overload. You can't help it.
We got on the ship and we were like, shit, how are we gonna open this bottle? And I was like, I don't know, a knife. Like we'll figure it out. So Melanie was like, just ask your cabin person. And I was like, okay. So his little card's sitting on the bed and we call him. And my cabin mate Amanda was just like, do, John, it's Amanda. And he goes, oh, I'm in bed. I send somebody. And she was like, I'm so sorry. Like she felt so bad. So she came out because I was sitting on the balcony and she goes, she's like, well, he's going to fart on our pillows later.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can totally coming home with pink eye from this
perfect.
Trip. Yeah. No, that's happening, you know.
But it was funny because, the wine bottle that it was put in was a Martha Stewart, like, and it's called it's called 19 Crimes. And we were like, Martha just committed a 20th.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. Thanks, Martha.
Sorry, Martha. It was pretty funny. But
Did
it was
y'all
good.
have any of the pizza? Like the late night? Oh, you didn't go to, I think it was called like Sorrento's or something like that.
So we were going to go there originally. And then we were like, well, let's see what else. And then we kind of, we got distracted a lot. We were like, ooh, squirrel.
Yeah.
Ooh,
no,
squirrel.
you missed out because that was the best.
That's pretty good.
Okay. It was the best pizza after you've been drinking all day. Like I got it Sunday night and I hadn't had, you know, a whole lot to drink at that point. I quit drinking after we left the island.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, okay, I need to drink water and hydrate. I was so dehydrated this morning, my lips split open. Like I yawned and I was like, oh Jesus, this is what happens when you enjoy yourself on a vacation.
Yeah.
Punishment. The nuns were right. But so anyways, quit drinking. Go, you know, we saw Grease on the ship. That was It was good. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess, you know. So
It was like full from start to finish? Or?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was like the whole thing of Grease. They put in like 2 songs that weren't in the movie, and I was like, what's this shit? Like, no. The whole point is so that I can sing along.
Yeah.
Like, you know, badly, but still. So, it was good. Especially towards the end, because we were in that storm and the ship is just going, and these people are up on stage like dancing, and they're doing like swing dancing.
Yeah.
So they're throwing each other around and everything, and the ship's just like whoo, you know, and they did great. They stayed on their feet, like all the things. One wave hit the side of the ship during like kind of a quiet moment. It was like, whoa, and the whole thing vibrated. Woo! And everybody in the audience was just like, oh, you know, and I'm over here going, because I love it. I think it's great. Like, I'm that weirdo, like, out on your balcony, like, filming it. Like, yeah, this is so awesome.
That was us.
Yeah. So I saw your thing. I was like, But, so then we're, like, super excited, because we're like, okay, look, after this, we're going to our room. We're taking our bras off. We're going to get pizza.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be the tits, right? So.
Tits out.
So
that was our
we went
theme of the week.
Got our pizza, you know, super excited about it. Smuggle it back to our room. Like, you know, sit down. We start eating it, and we're just like, this was really much better when we were drunk, wasn't it? Yeah. It was still all right, but it was definitely, and maybe it was because it was like last night pizza. I don't know. Yeah. But it was just like,
they were like, just get it out.
Yeah.
We don't really care.
So I only ate 2 of my 4 pieces.
Yeah.
It was like, and they weren't like, I say 4 pieces, and people are like, oh my, like, you know, they were like this big.
Yeah. They weren't terribly large.
But yeah, it was definitely like drunk food.
Yeah.
But it was good drunk food.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
We kind of just meandered.
I feel like I did not see all the things.
No.
I was like...
Well, every turn you were like, what the hell is this? Where the hell is this? Where are we?
There was a lot of that. I was like, wait a minute. Like, hold on.
We always managed to find our way back to the rooms, though.
Yes.
I was like, it's here. And then it was just like, oh, hey, we are really here.
I think there was only one of us that had a problem one night, like finding her room. Like, she just kind of got really turned around and everything. It was just like, and then very nice strangers helped her, and she was fine. But yeah, it was one for the books for sure. Yeah.
Someone stole. So Melanie had these like really nice magnets put like
Somebody
with everyone's.
stole y'all's magnet?
So it was like the magnets with our names on it, and then there were like the little like animal.
Yeah, little seahorses and the thing.
So I had an octopus on it, and I was like, "Oh, so much fun!"
You got an octopus?
And I was like, "I bet you Erin stole it because it was gone."
I didn't know how to seahorse.
And so then our neighbors, Kate and Lauren, had a seagull. And I was like, oh, there's seagulls still there. And I was like, someone stole our octopus, bunch of assholes.
So naturally, you thought it was me.
Well, I was like, I bet you Erin stole it. And I was like, but I don't know if she knows where my room is at, unless she walked this whole thing.
I did.
And I was like, whatever. And so then the next hour, I guess, we come out and our names are gone. And Kate and Lauren's names are gone. And I was like, who the fuck stole our name tags?
Oh my gosh.
Except my name tag was still there because I guess it's such a unique name that
they were like,
we can't. So there was a guy and his wife. And I was just like, what the hell, man? I was like, someone stole our tags off the door. And he was just like, someone put all these on my door, and he pulls it out, and it's Kate, Lauren's, Amanda's, Dr. Sherry's, people down, further down.
I mean, there were a lot of kids on that hall. I could definitely see some of the kids doing that, but why did he have them in his pocket?
He was like, I'm going to bring him up to I was going to bring him, and I was like, it's suspicious. I was like, you're literally standing right next to my door that has my name on it. I was like, give me the damn... I took them, so we put ours inside, and then I brought the rest to dinner, and I was like, here you go, I caught the thief.
You're like, we played Scooby-Doo and we caught the guy.
If it wasn't for these meddling kids. But then part of it, so like we're in bed and it's late, and I hear like a knock on the wall from the room next to us, which is not the people that we're with. And it's, hey, it's Caleb, let me in. And I was like...
Immediately you flash back to every scary movie you've ever seen, and you're like, I'm not.
And it's pitch black. We have the thing is closed. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I was like, Amanda, did you hear that? And she's she's sleeping.
Yeah.
And then it moves from like directly behind me to like directly behind her. And I was like, maybe I'm dreaming this. Like maybe I'm a fucking crazy person.
Maybe this is... no.
I was not.
No.
So then it moved from the inside of the wall to our door. And it started with like, boom, 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 boom. It's Caleb. Let me in. And then key card try, key card try, key card try.
I would have gotten up and whipped that door open so fast it scared the shit out of that little kid.
So
like, Caleb doesn't live here anymore.
So Amanda was like, is that you? And I was like, no. I was like, but I don't want to get up because I'm really comfortable. Because it was just like, the boat rocking me to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it'll stop. It'll stop. It did not stop. Caleb wanted in our room so damn bad. And I was too lazy to get up. So he tried for a solid hour.
Oh my God.
I was just like, we're not here, Caleb.
No one's home.
But it was pretty wild.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
But it was overall, it was a great time. And,
yeah,
a much needed vacation from the hustle and bustle.
Oh, yes, the hustle and bustle of touching people naked.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's definitely,
So,
thanks for following us on all of our get naked kind of adventures.
Yeah. Where we were half naked this time.
We were half naked, like practically the whole trip.
Yeah.
It's like very acceptable.
It's great.
Know. So,
not even one weird glance.
But if you enjoy the show, and next week I think we're gonna do a guest. Next week's episode 10, and we're gonna do a guest.
10.
We're gonna bring in a guest. 10. Now we're gonna have to draw straws because people are like, I don't know if I want to go on, and it's like draw a straw.
We force you to talk about things you don't want to talk about.
Talk about stuff, No,
Yeah.
It's going to be great. We've got a couple people in the works, so we'll see which one ends up working out. But if you'd love to see that and you'd love to see more of our sunshiny faces, definitely give us a like and a follow. You can check us out on YouTube and Facebook if you actually want to watch this shit show in action, or you can listen to us.
Yeah, you can. Spotify, iTunes.
Spotify and iTunes. I'm just like that one, the thing. I'm not technological, guys. I'm just like,
we know.
Right?
We know you're old too.
Anyways, you can also book appointments on our website at www.massagemechanicsSC.com. And you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. You're what?
I'm at Dee Pookie on Instagram.
Pookie, and I'm at Massage Mechanics because I'm a professional, apparently.
Listen, I do what I
want. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us for episode 9.
9.
Get Naked. And, keep doing what you do. But
get naked?
As long as you do it naked. Right. I mean, do what you do. Just do it naked. So,
live your best life.
We'll see you next time.
That's right.
Bye.